Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Deep Threats Podcast. We are here live and in action. If you can't hear me, I'm sorry, I suck again, but for the most part, I think we're doing pretty good right now. Got a little high-pitched voice for some odd reason. Not sure why. But here's what I'll do. I'll get into it, and we will talk Week 15 of the NFL, and let's not forget playoffs, everybody. Playoffs for your fantasy teams. Playoffs for anything going on, for the side bets you got in your family if you're doing family events, for the biggest losers for your fantasy teams. We are going to see what's happening here, and I hope you all are in your fantasy playoffs so we can talk some sleepers and some depth charts today and go into who's going to be in demand. But before we do any of that, let me introduce to you my wonderful, old, autistic cousin from another mother, Wheels.
Excuse me?
Welcome to the Deep Threats Podcast. And it is playoff time, and half my team is out. Josh Jacobs, injured. Jamar Chase, injured. Nico Collins, injured. Justin Jefferson, injured.
Somebody's
Brown,
looking like the Cleveland Browns right
injured.
now, huh, bro?
Meanwhile, between playoffs and beginning of the year, I lost both Joe Burrow and Kirk Cousins. It hurts. Just put me out of my misery. I'm not even expecting to win this week, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm okay with losing.
And that's okay with me because I'm not in your league. That is your decision. As always, we had a very fun and eventful Sunday, right?
I mean, that Chargers game was just, wow.
That's about as eventful as it gets. Between them and Minnesota, I don't know what game I want to watch every week.
Oh yeah, it was the Minnesota. Okay, I'm sorry, not the Vikings game, but yeah, you're not wrong. The Chargers game was bad.
They're all bad. They're all
3-0. Did you know
that was the Vikings game, 3-0.
Yeah, did you? Oh yeah.
You keep saying Chargers.
Yeah, sorry.
It was the Vikings game.
Did you
3-0.
know the Raiders scored less points on Sunday than the Vegas Golden Knights? The hockey team,
dude. Oh,
hockey team.
I'm not a hockey fan, so I didn't get that joke until he had to say it. So I apologize for all you out there who are not hockey fans.
That's sad.
That is pretty sad.
That's just sad.
I would completely and utterly agree that is. It's actually not even sad. It's just disrespectful to the fans watching.
Devontae Adams said it was embarrassing. So
Derek Carr said it was kind of embarrassing.
He's not even on the team.
I mean,
excuse you.
What do you mean?
Derek Carr's not on the.
I know, right? He used to be.
Do you think Devontae Adams requests to trade this offseason? I do.
Wasn't Devontae Adams the one that said that he's willing to run through a brick wall for this coach?
How does he feel after a 3-0 loss? Does he still feel that way? And meanwhile, you know what was said before the game?
They're drafting a quarterback, right? That's what it's coming down. They're drafting a quarterback.
Jane Daniels is going to the Raiders.
Oh, dude!
Clip it! Clip it! I broke him, ladies and gentlemen. He is officially broken.
No. Here's what I'm not a fan of, okay? First things first. Back in the day, right? All of us know, if you look at Heisman Trophy winners, they don't really amount to much in the NFL. And that's nothing against these guys who do phenomenal things in college. And I'm not trying to say he can't break the mold or anything like that. But let's not talk about this guy who no one's really talked about all year. And I know he's played very well. You've brought him up a few times. But for the most part, national media has not talked about this gentleman all year. They talked about Caleb Williams. They talked about Bo Nix. They talked about Drake May last year, and then kind of into this year kind of fell off a little bit.
Michael Penix was kind of the least talked about.
Well, and Michael Penix, I think the media caught wave of Penix when they kept winning, right?
And like I said to you last year, I was a huge fan of Bo Nix at Auburn. I thought him going to Oregon was a huge step forward for him for just his ability, and that's exactly what it showed. But how are we going to sit here and say that
Jaden Daniels is going to be off the board second overall? Like, how do we have the nerve to say this when there's four other quarterbacks who have been playing better?
Because it's the Raiders.
It's the Raiders. I would rather have the Raiders bank their franchise on Caleb Williams, right? Because at least you're selling tickets to bring Caleb Williams in. There's a reason. Like the reason why I was agitated with the Browns and understood the Browns pick for Johnny Manziel, even if it wasn't that high, it was to sell tickets. And Johnny football was to sell tickets.
Yeah, not to get off track here, but if Johnny would have read a playbook, he would have been good. He would have been good.
I mean, he was too busy drinking, but that's not the point, right?
And that's before there was. I mean, you see now that's a whole big issue. We saw it with.
But even Baker Mayfield, right? The story of him stomping on the flag in the middle of Ohio State's field and the Cleveland Browns being the ones that draft him. There's a big story there, and it creates media attention, and he's already a loudmouth in the media, so it sells tickets, right? It sells tickets. When you go and get a guy like Aaron Rodgers at 40 years old, it sells tickets, right?
Yeah.
So I can understand the move for Caleb Williams or even Michael Penix a little bit. I don't understand the move for Jaden Daniels. I don't.
They're not the second pick, though.
No, they're the fourth?
That's what I'm saying. They're not the second pick.
No, but yeah, I'm saying.
Were you saying second quarterback taken off the board? Is that what you meant?
Second quarterback off the board, but even then, I could see them trading up, right? Like I see the first team getting Caleb Williams and trading everything for him, which I'm okay with the Raiders doing at this point.
I think so. The Patriots. I see the Patriots taking 2 quarterbacks.
Let me refresh.
It's either going to be Bo Nix or Michael Penix. You saw how high I was last year on Caleb Williams.
Who's the coach on the Patriots? Based on, and that's news we've kind of had a little bit recently. Is that
I don't know, because we called this 4 or 5 weeks ago how Belichick and them were going to have an agreement to just separate at the end of the year, like a mutual agreement.
We've had conversations going both directions, right? And we've had the statements that inside news has said he's extended a contract. We've also have inside news now that he is saying that they have a mutual agreed parting.
I've been on the other side saying that he's done.
If I'm Robert Kraft, right? If I'm Robert Kraft, I do whatever Belichick needs to give him one more shot. It's the guy's still capable of winning games. Look at what he's doing, Bailey Zappi, right? Like Bailey Zappi has actually played better than Mac Jones all year. I would say the signing of Bill O'Brien didn't show up the way it was supposed to show up.
I think it hurt Mac Jones' development more than helped it. It
regressed.
Yeah.
It felt like first 2 games were great and then regression.
And regardless of how people feel about the Brady and Belichick thing, Belichick is still the GOAT regardless of coaching. He's the GOAT. He's the greatest to do it, in my opinion, for at least the years that I've watched the NFL. He is not the problem in New England. The problem is just the talent on the offensive side of the ball the injuries. That's another team who's dealt with a lot of injuries.
And aren't they still like a top 10 defense? Like, right? Like they're really good defensively still.
I think they're 14th. Hold on, I have it pulled up.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're the 8th overall defense in the NFL.
Like I said, they're not.
It's the offense.
That's why I said
right.
Belichick is what, a defensive head coach, right?
But also keep in mind the loss of Kendrick Bourne, right?
That's what I'm saying.
The 30-year-old running back they have. They lost Ramondre Stevenson for a little bit this year, and that was a strugle.
Mac Jones has struggled. He's making bad decisions.
Well, Mac Jones has, I think, probably the most turnovers in the NFL, to be honest with you.
No, Desmond Ridder. I think Desmond Ridder has 9 interceptions and 8 fumbles.
So the turnover ratio on that team is -9. It's 3rd worst in the NFL. Hold on.
The worst.
Let me make sure that's updated.
The worst team.
Yeah, 3rd worst in the NFL. So now that's kind of crazy, right? Considering you have the 8th best defense.
The Raiders and Washington are their only worst teams.
Right. And I would say, let's see, most interceptions, right? In 2023.
Sure, Josh Allen will be on that list, even though he's played very well this year. Better than Patrick Mahomes.
Josh Allen's leads. No, that's not the right. Defensive.
Hold on. Stats.
Who's thrown the most interceptions?
Season leaders. Passing.
I wish I would have had this before I even started the show.
Yeah, I'm sorry about this, guys. Interceptions. No, that's interceptions 4.
Yeah, I'm going to have to figure this out later. I kind of feel bad at myself. Actually, I'm assuming it's Josh Allen, Matthew Stafford, Justin Fields, Baker Mayfield.
Let's see. Quarterback leading the league in interceptions.
The highlight one quarterback who don't expect to be at the top of the interception list at 1,200. Don't look for Mac Jones to be the value due to
Sam Howell and Josh Allen are tied at 14. And then you go Mac Jones at 12, Patrick Mahomes at 11.
Okay, so
Jordan
Mac
Love
Jones
at
is the
11.
third worst in interceptions.
And then behind him is Patrick Mahomes.
And Sam Howell, I kind of give credit to because he's thrown the most passing yards in the game. So the guy's slinging the ball. By the way, if I have to see someone else out there say that Sam Howell has mid receivers, I'm going to go punch somebody.
You have Curtis Samuel, Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson.
Dotson and Scary Terry. Like, Scary Terry, right? That's come on.
Scary Terry can easily be a top 10 wide receiver in the league.
Scary Terry is what
I mean, it's just
not going to make this exact like apples to apples comparison, right? Like, but Scary Terry, you muted the wrong man. Thank you. Scary Terry is the Amari Cooper on that team. He just keeps his head down. He runs his routes. He catches the ball. He doesn't care who's throwing the ball to him. He just does his job.
Exactly. I also said with Eric Bieniemy going there, I think
Patrick Mahomes, baby.
I'm not trying.
If I have to hear you bitch about reffing in the regular season when the only reason you've ever made the playoffs is because of a bad call. Ever! I'll say it now.
I posted the holding call in the Super Bowl on Juju.
But that's an arguable one, right? But even that's arguable. It is a game winner. It is a game winner. But I'm talking about like the T. Higgins. He doesn't make the Super Bowl that year because the Browns beat him. If T. Higgins scores that touchdown, not doing that hell. Rashard Higgins, sorry. The Rashard Higgins helmet-to-helmet hit. He fumbles the ball going into the end zone. Chiefs get the ball back. We score that touchdown. Even if we don't make it on the one, we have Nick Chubb to go into the end zone. I'm not worried about that. He doesn't make it that year. The year prior to that, he even won in the playoffs, I think, on a bullshit call again before going into the Super Bowl. So I'm not going to sit here, and I understand that there's good calls, there's bad calls. Guys, refs do a job. They're 99% accurate. The problem is we have a camera on every angle of the field. We're always going to know when they're inaccurate.
Yeah, so that's
100%. So
the thing is the issue I have with Patrick Mahomes, I still respect him, but I've definitely lost some respect for him, is the fact that after the game,
he apologized.
Game's already, I don't care. I don't give a shit if you apologize. It shouldn't have happened in the first place. You are the poster boy for the NFL. You're in how many commercials? I don't care. You hold your emotions. You go up to the opposing quarterback. Josh Allen said, that's the most bullshit call I've ever seen. Worst call, yada, yada, yada. No, you be a man, you shut your mouth, and you say, good game. That's what it is. And guess what? You showing me that shows me that you're not the leader that everybody thinks you are. And the fact that the media has talked about it for 3 days just shows how effective a winning team is when they get supposedly screwed by one call, when it happens to multiple teams that are mid-level in the NFL today.
Also, there's another thing I want to bring up here, and it's the it's called television, guys. And those lines in the field are not real lines.
No, those are
just lines that we see on the television. Like, they don't see those on the field. So when the ref's looking, he's looking down the line at the other ref who's standing across from him at the point of the ball. So, like, and don't get me wrong, what I was upset when the Browns got called on the non-center moving the ball forward, right? Like, that's a bullshit call.
Or the 9 holds against Myles Garrett that didn't get called on Sunday.
Here's the thing, like, if that ref felt that was an egregious offsides and it affected the play, and the ref said he did, and he didn't check with the ref, and Andy Reid said he didn't check with the ref, and Andy Reid even came back the next day and said he's going to coach him on how to check with the ref. All of these things happen. So anybody in the media that's bringing this up, Patrick Mahomes handled it poorly. Kadarius Toney is a subpar receiver who's been in the NFL 3 years, and there's a reason he's not on the Giants behind that plethora of mid-tier receivers, right? Plethora.
Yeah, and all the people saying the reason why the Chiefs are what they are and they're not as good is because the wide receivers. Blame the contracts of your quarterback and tight end.
Disagree with that. I will disagree with that all day. Patrick Mahomes took a friendly contract to his team.
Oh, I get it.
I agree with you that Kelsey, Chris Jones, and Chris Jones just got signed this year. And I agree that there are some people getting paid on that team, but it's not that way. It has nothing to do with that on that team. Drop percentage matters, right? Like with the Cleveland Browns, of all people, drop percentage matters.
And the fact that they've whiffed on their last 2 first-round picks with Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Sky Moore. Those 2 have not worked out.
I think Sky Moore, if your guy's not on the field, but now Rashee Rice has played very well this year.
That was
Rashee Rice has played very well.
Yeah, he was a first-round pick. So your previous two.
Yeah. CEH, I don't know if CEH was a bust or it's just Isaiah Pacheco played so well that CEH just became on the back burner, right? Like
you don't have as
plus it's also a team. I don't even think they run the ball 15 times outside of Patrick Mahomes.
This is it's forward thinking for me. With that is you have a first-round pick invested in Clyde Edwards-Helaire, correct? And you had a 7th-round pick,
32nd overall pick.
Yeah, but you had a 7th-round pick invested in Pacheco. So you're gonna show off your first-round pick a little bit more and maybe try to get him to trade.
Well, no, because they didn't accept his 5th year, so they're not utilizing him.
They don't see any opportunity or value in him. So that's where I'm saying is they didn't draft well.
I understand what you're saying with that.
And it's nothing against the Chiefs. It's nothing against Patrick Mahomes. It's just the fact of how he represented himself.
By no ways do I hate Patrick Mahomes.
I don't.
I actually, prior to the Rashard Higgins hit where he got that call and didn't say anything, prior to that, I thought Patrick Mahomes, and I really was a fan, and I'm not a fan of Brady. So, I thought Patrick Mahomes has the ability to surpass everything Brady did based on what he's done. Now, Brady never had receivers like...
I don't know. You had Gronk.
This is hard. This is hard
Randy
because
Moss.
He's had great receivers, right?
They've also developed Julian Edelman. They got Wes Welker. So I guess
Welker was a beast for a solid 5 to 10 years.
Julian Edelman, Wes Welker, Randy Moss, but
that's a hard one, right? Because people will say that Tom Brady never had receivers, but in reality, I think Tom Brady just never had a long ball receiver. I think Tom Brady's always had phenomenal mid-tier receivers.
He's had really good slot and route runners. Yes.
Because he played good West Coast offense, and if he had to sling it, he slung it. And that's what he did in Tampa Bay. When he had big downfield receivers, he slung it. And he was good at projecting where the receiver was going.
And you ran the dual tight end set with Rob Gronkowski and...
Hernandez?
Yeah, Hernandez. Yeah. I mean, it's just... The NFL has evolved, without a doubt.
Yeah, so, I'm just, what I'm saying is, just stay off the refs at this point. Because even as a Browns fan, we got Bo here that constantly brings this up to me, and he's a Chicago Bears fan, so it's not like this is a Browns thing. It's that the refs are the weather. You have to learn to deal with it. And if you're going to put yourself in a situation to where an offsides call is going to punish your team, then you did the wrong thing.
And guess what? You still had an opportunity after that penalty.
And you flopped. Because you overthrew your tight end.
And I revert back to, I know they changed the rule in overtime, but when the Chiefs beat the Bills in overtime and everybody said, oh, well, they had an opportunity to win it in regular time. Well, the Chiefs had an opportunity to get a touchdown or get a first down, and they couldn't do it. So maybe that's on them, not the refs, because you were still given an opportunity.
But what a phenomenal game for the Bills to stick in. And James Cook looked great.
James Cook looked great. I think he had 26 fantasy points.
Something like that.
I think the wide receiver of the week... There was 3 great ones, Drake London and Cooper Kupp.
Who called that Drake London? Live on the show, I said, I think this is a Drake London game. 6 or 7 receptions for over 80 to 100 yards.
He had 100 and something yards.
He had 174 yards or something like that on 8 receptions.
Well, this just came across my desk today, ladies and gentlemen. Keenan Allen is out tomorrow for the Chargers-Raiders game.
And so is Justin Herbert.
So you might as well it's going to be like a 3-2 game.
And Josh Jacobs is possibly out.
Jacobs will be out. Jacobs is done for the year, most likely.
Bro. Fantasy.
I'm broken.
Zamir White.
I'm broken.
Do you start Zamir White?
I'm starting Chuba Hubbard. Or Antonio
What does that have to do with Thursday's game?
You said fantasy. That's why.
What does that have to do with Thursday's game?
Zamir White... You have a Zamir White and Amir Abdullah, which Amir Abdullah has been on a couple different teams over the years. I would start Zamir White. They drafted him 2 years ago as the backup for Josh Jacobs. I don't see a reason why they're not going to give him an opportunity with a draft pick.
They did last year, actually.
They have an
opportunity. He played well.
But back in the beginning of the year where he struggled. I think Antonio Pierce is going to do anything and everything to get a win. That means throwing some crazy lineups in there. And you're going to see Zamir White and Amir Abdullah both. I wouldn't be surprised if you see a gun formation out there too.
You know what I laugh is that the Raiders are still in the playoff hunt.
No, they won't be after next week. Well, depending if they win this
If
week.
they win this week,
They're going to win.
the
You
fact-
have Easton Stick, Quentin Johnston, who I picked up. That's looking good. Do you start Quentin Johnston?
no, not without Justin Herbert. No way.
Who are they going to throw the ball to? Gerald Everett?
Who's throwing the ball?
Easton Stick. Yeah. He sounds like didn't he play for Michigan State?
Dude, I don't
Might
even
be
know
wrong.
pardon me on this. This again, these are times where I'll admit where I'm wrong. Who the hell is Easton Stick?
Oh, no, sorry. He played at North Dakota State.
Like, who the hell is Easton
Whoops.
Stick? When did he get drafted?
He's a white guy that was drafted in... Hold on. I don't want to spew nonsense. 2019, 5th round, 166th overall pick.
So he's been in the league for 4 years.
Let me see his stats.
Has he been on the Chargers that entire time?
I do believe he was drafted by the Chargers. Yep, he's been on the Chargers since 2020.
Who were his stats in college?
That's gonna
How do you spell his name? Give me his name.
stick like a wood stick.
I was asking you how do you spell his first name, but
Oh, sorry, last name. I'm sorry. Eason.
it's actually Eason. So
Oh,
Easton.
no, Easton. Easton. So I had it wrong. Again.
Easton. Where's this dude at? Spell his name for me.
Easton.
Easton. Last name?
Stick.
Stick. This dude's not on ESPN. There it is. All right, Easton Stick.
Let's look at his college stats.
NCAA.
He was on the Bisons. Let's go.
All right, North Dakota State University did not start in 15, 16, or 17. He started in 2018, 281 attempts, 171 completions, 62.3% completion percentage, 2,700 yards, 28 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. That's not a bad stat line.
No. You're also playing for North Dakota State, though, where you're not going up against top tier.
I mean, that's still not a bad stat line, though. 2018, he beat Washington, he beat Maine, he beat Arkansas, he lost to South Dakota, he beat Missouri State, he lost to North Dakota, he beat Western Illinois, he
I wonder
beat
if
Murray.
he played with Cody Mouch, the Viking King.
Yeah, he didn't beat anybody. No. All right.
So-
That's going to be a fun one to watch.
Also,
Hold on. What is this? Is this quarterback number 14? 15? Half the league this year. Half the league this year has injured quarterbacks. Holy guacamole, guys. Half the league this year. And do we count ours 3 times over? Since we're on the practice squad quarterback of Joe Flacco?
Hold on.
Like, do we count that?
I got the list. Hold on. Okay, here it goes. Joe Burrow, Kirk Cousins, Justin Herbert, Daniel Jones, Anthony Richardson, Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson. That's it. I feel like there's more.
That's not it. Justin Herbert.
I said Justin Herbert. Watson, Rodgers, Richardson, Jones, Herbert, Cousins, Burrow,
Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett.
Mac Jones. I'm not just counting injuries. That's why. Taylor Heineke. Hold on.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Justin Fields is back. Oh, Joe Burrow. Was that on there?
Yep.
T-Law's eventually going to get injured. Like, the way he keeps going. Derek Carr 5 times over this year. What is Derek Carr, like 17 concussions? It was only freaking
No, that was
14
Anthony
games
Richardson.
played.
Anthony Richardson had like 2 concussions in 3 games.
Kirk Cousins. Was he on there?
CJ Stroud.
Was Kirk Cousins on there?
Yeah. CJ Stroud, he's probably going to miss a week or 2 with that concussion.
He has still not been cleared of concussion protocol.
What I said this beginning of the year, the rookies last year are on par to miss at least 2 weeks with a concussion. And that's what it has been.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to get into Thursday football here in a second.
It'll be quick.
Do you start Joe Flacco over Jalen Hurts this week?
Who do the Eagles play?
The Eagles play the Seattle Seahawks Monday Night Football prime time
And
in Seattle.
they have struggled. You're in Seattle. Philly and Seattle. Weather really doesn't matter to me. And the Browns are going up against the Bears.
In Chicago.
In Chicago. Weather. Joe Flacco. I want to say start Flacco, but I'm going to start Hurts just because of the
rushing upside?
Exactly.
I have to start Hurts. All right. I had to ask that question because I picked up Joe Flacco in every league that I can pick up Joe Flacco in because I like the upside. Also, by the way, next time I see someone put on Twitter that Joe Flacco got picked up by the Eagles, I'm going to stab him in the leg.
So speaking of that real quick, I had a ton of people talk to me about, oh my God, he's on the practice squad. Ladies and gentlemen.
We covered this last week.
I know, but apparently it's just, we got, not against our viewers. You're all very smart, intelligent folks. That's why you watch.
The 5 of you.
The 5 of you. But, so I had multiple people contact me like, oh my God, he's on the practice squad. He's going to sign with another team. Just because he's on the practice squad.
He can sign
with another team. But Joe Flacco is smart enough to know, hey, I have a good old line here. I got weapons here. Why would I want to go to XYZ team? Unless they get offered him a substantial amount of money, which is not going to happen, to be a backup, he is not leaving Cleveland. He already said he's not leaving Cleveland. Stefanski's already called him the starter for the remainder of the season. He is not leaving Cleveland. It does not matter if he's on the practice squad or on the active roster until game day. He's not leaving Cleveland. Just take a deep breath and relax.
All right. After watching that game, was it primetime? Philly? Dallas?
Yes, 8:25.
Okay, that was primetime Sunday,
right? Yeah, it was
right?
nighttime. Or Sunday Night Football.
After watching that game, what do we think about Philly in this situation?
So I got...
Because they're no longer in first place in the NFC.
I have 2 buddies at work. I don't know if they watch the show. It's going to make them mad. They know I don't like Dallas. They know I don't like Philly. I think... I'm not ready to call Philly frauds, but I'm getting there because they're having issues winning big games, correct? It's no issue.
I want to know from you because I know my outlook.
It's no issue if you beat up on teams that aren't winning or have a losing record. Anybody in the league can do that. The issue is when you cannot play equal or better teams and perform well and win.
Miami.
Miami, exactly. That's where my worries come in. So Miami and the Eagles, I grade them about the same. They are good, not great. I don't see them either in the NFC Championship game or the AFC Championship game, nor the Super Bowl. I think Miami gets bounced in the first round. I think the Ravens get the first round bye. The Niners will get the first round bye. I think both the Eagles...
Here's why I won't say that Philly hasn't beat good teams. Yeah, I agree, right? I completely agree. They beat the Chiefs.
The Chiefs are 8-5.
They beat the Chiefs. They beat the Bills.
The Bills are 1 game over 500.
They beat Dallas the first time.
So you split with Dallas.
They beat Washington twice. They beat Miami. They lost to the Jets.
Exactly.
They beat the Rams. And look what the Rams have been doing.
But I'm saying is substantially better teams. They're not. None of those teams are better than them. Except for the Rams. If
a team is better than the best team, that means they're the best team.
But they're not. They're not the best team.
Don't take that out of context that Dallas is the best team.
And yes, they did beat the Chiefs. I understand that, but the Chiefs are 8-5. The Browns have the same record as the Chiefs, and we're on our 4th fucking quarterback, so I don't care about the Chiefs. I'm tired of hearing about the Chiefs.
Wow.
I am. I'm just tired of it. We have the same record as them.
I don't know how to go on. You're going. So here's the thing, right? So like,
it is no hate towards
Patrick Mahomes said a great thing. I don't know about that. Let's not.
I bet you $2,000. I bet you $2,000 the Chiefs do not win a ring.
We do not offer financial advice on this show.
I bet you $2,000. So,
but let's be honest here, right? The Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes is something special.
Without a doubt, Patrick Mahomes. But the problem is
the
wide receivers.
OC in the situation they've been in.
Let's do it.
Do you know him, Casey? Oh man,
I'm happy.
I'll tell you right now, you might want to be in trouble. Hey, we have a Discord. If you want to jump on there, I'm sure you could get some DMs going with him for $2,000 because he does a couple jobs and I don't know what is the payout to that.
What do you mean?
The Chiefs to not win the Super Bowl, like
if they win, I pay him $2,000. If they don't, he pays me $2,000.
Oh, just 1-1.
Yeah, 1-1.
All right.
I had a bet last year with a wide receiver, Cortland Sutton.
So, Kansas City, right? And Patrick Mahomes had a great quote, and I love this quote. He said, "I don't understand why everybody that beats us acts like they won the Super Bowl." Well, in reality, bro, you just won the Super Bowl, so everybody's going to act like they won the Super Bowl. That's exactly the point. When you are the team that everybody's targeting, every year gets harder.
Yeah.
Ask the Patriots.
Well, also, that's they lost the enemy. If it's just like the Bill Belichick.
Teams are gunning for you.
You win, you're losing assistants, you're losing coordinators, you're losing this, you're losing that. And that's what has happened to the Patriots, and it's happened to the Chiefs now. You lost the enemy.
That is a great point. And you want to know why I think that's a great point? Is because Philadelphia, where everybody's harassing Philadelphia right now, that defense, which, by the way, is probably one of the most prolific group of guys, right? In the NFL, I mean, the entire Georgia D line, they pick up Byard in the safety position, and they already had good people. They pick up corners. They pick up Shaq Leonard just recently. So they're picking up huge pieces. The problem is, who did they lose last year? They lost their offensive coordinator in Steichen, who went to the Indianapolis Colts, and they lost their defensive coordinator, who, by the way, went to a team, and I can't remember his name.
Me either.
But he went to the Arizona Cardinals, who were playing phenomenally defensively this year without the guys that he had last year. Because Arizona's defense, everybody said they lost it. They lost it.
Yeah,
and he's over there in Arizona playing well. So the OC stepped up, but I have a feeling that the OC has to deal with the head coach. I feel like some of his coordination, some of his guidance, and I feel like that's where they're lacking is in the defensive side of the ball.
And over the last 2 weeks, they've been outscored 75-32.
And that's my point, right?
That's
it's the defensive side of the ball. If you are, you probably agree with this because this has to do with I don't know if you remember the Peyton Manning year where they lost the Super Bowl.
Yes.
If your defense is giving up 30 points a game, you're not expected to win.
No, it's just
it's that much harder to do.
I was actually looking at this last year. The Browns defense was ranked 14th, but we were giving up, tied, I think, with the three other teams, the most points per game. And that's exactly like what you're saying. It's those explosive plays where you're scoring on. I believe we were 14th, and we were giving up 25.1 points per game.
So Philly in points per game, last 5 in the NFL.
Yeah,
they're giving up as many points
as they're scoring
as the Indianapolis Colts, the Arizona Cardinals, the Carolina Panthers. They're all within a point of each other.
And they're all losing teams. Those are all losing teams. No, not one of those teams have a winning record. Sorry, the Colts. The Colts are the only team there that has a winning record. My bad. They're up by 1.
And then the team above them is Seattle.
Losing record. I think they're 6-7.
Yep. So they're grouped around losing teams.
So essentially, defensively, you're going up against yourself with points per game and defense.
I don't have the offensive brought up.
The offense, obviously, Philly's scoring more of the offense. And I know people are going to say, oh, the tuck push is helping them. Guess what? They've perfected it. They're allowed to use it. It's not banned.
Dude,
who cares?
Yeah, and it shouldn't be banned.
No, it shouldn't be.
It's an offensive play.
Because guess what? It's execution.
If I'll tell you right now, if we go put a running back in the slot, which we're really good at, and we have 5 linemen push the running back 15 yards, I'm okay with that because you can't stop it.
Exactly. And it's just, guess what? Just because I can do it and you can't doesn't mean it's illegal.
Better figure it out.
And I hate that Jason Kelsey had to come out and say, because I believe he's the head of the NFLPlayoffs.
They are scoring 2 points, roughly 2 points more than they're giving up. So they're scoring 26.3, and I think they were giving up 24.5.
So that's not good.
No, it's not good.
That's what I'm saying.
I agree.
And you could say, oh, it's just the last 2 games. Hey, guess what? The last 2 games, yeah, it could definitely affect that number, and it probably brought them down the list. But guess what? Those are games that mattered. If you win both those games, you pretty much would have clinched a playoff spot already.
And it's actually funny because the Browns are doing the same thing, right? 22-point-something points per game, and they're giving up 20.9. Yeah. So that's it. It's hard to win games.
But we're
when
also
doing
not saying that we're the best team in the AFC.
I agree, and I would also.
And it's not like I said. I don't like Philly, and I do like Jalen Hurts. I think he's good. I like Nick Sirianni. I like what they're doing in Philly, but it's just defensively.
Repeat years are hard to do.
Yeah, it's just Brady never did it, right? Brady never had back-to-back Super Bowls.
Well, he didn't win, so there's a difference, right?
No. Yeah.
Philly didn't win, so it's not a back-to-back Super Bowl.
No,
you can go
sorry,
back-to-back.
I
It's
mean,
just not a win. Kansas City has the hardest road ahead.
Yeah, so let's go over the last couple of years. The Bengals, they've never made it back, dealing with injuries and a whole bunch of other.
Bengals, Chiefs, Patriots, Bucks.
Yeah.
That's it.
And they've
Sorry, but there's only like 4 teams that go to the Super Bowl anymore.
And so NFC-wise, I want to say the Niners, but the Niners always seem to find a way to lose and not make it to the Super Bowl. So maybe Philly somehow squeaks in, but I do think Philly gets bounced in the first round just because of what we talked about. Their defense is the problem.
So if you watch the intro to the show, I actually put the whatchamacallit up, the current playoff, right?
Yeah, let's take a look at that.
Let me pull
That would be a great example.
Oh, Hefe's in chat. Cowboys versus Chiefs Super Bowl.
No.
No. Cowboys.
You're a Chiefs
can
fan.
we just have the Cowboys get out of the first round?
You're a Chiefs fan.
And I understand you're a Chiefs fan. Be honest with yourself, right, Hefe? Be honest with yourself and ask yourself the top 2 teams currently sitting in the NFL right now. Be honest. I'll tell you mine after you tell me yours.
I already know what his is going to be. The Chiefs.
Well, no. I want him to be honest with himself. Tell me who yours is, and I'll tell you who mine is. And I think they're inarguable because they're sitting at the top of their conferences right now.
I'll say mine. We'll both say the AFC at the same time and the NFC at the same time.
Well, then how is the show going to? Okay, so Ravens frauds. Okay. I would like you to back that statement up, but Ravens are hands down the best team in the NFL right now.
And I completely agree. The Ravens are my best team in the NFL.
But give me your next team, because apparently you're saying Cowboys, which they still aren't at the top of their division, and they also have to get past this team to make it to the Super Bowl. You got to get past.
And guess what?
The 49ers.
The Chiefs aren't guaranteed home field advantage, bud, because the Broncos are only 1 game behind you.
Yeah,
don't forget about that, and they could.
I agree.
Jump.
Hey, I'll agree with you all day. Miami
frauds. Yes,
I'll agree with you all day.
We both agree that Miami frauds.
I said last week that there's a possibility that Vrabel could upset Miami. I said there was I took Miami,
which was funny because my brother, we were playing Xbox.
Chiefs have the experience. So do the Ravens. So does Philly.
So do the Niners.
So do the Niners.
There's multiple teams that have experience.
So do the Rams.
Just because you have experience doesn't mean you're making the Super Bowl. Like we talked about, you're going to have a defense. You have to make sure things are working in the offense. And those are not working for the Chiefs right now. Their offense has been struggling. We've seen that with wide receiver issues, drops. Again, we're Browns fans. There's tons of drops. Chiefs, there's been tons of drops. If it's not working this late in the season, what makes you think they're going to figure it out even later when you're facing better teams week in and week out on the road possibly?
Yeah, it's a tough one, right? When the Ravens won their last playoff game 2 years ago.
Okay, I mean...
But I'm just saying, when you're talking experience, you're talking these players have experience, right? Because we know Lamar has experience in the playoffs. Better coach and a better quarterback wins. I don't disagree with that.
I don't disagree.
But to argue that the Dallas Cowboys have a better coach and a better quarterback than the 49ers is insane.
And the Ravens have a better defense
It's
than
insane.
The Chiefs.
And even Cam Newton thinks it's insane, even though I think his statement was stupid where he said that like the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL are all game managers and Lamar's the only game changer. Feels kind of racist to me when he says only running quarterbacks are capable of being game changers. I'm sorry. I think being a game changer means you don't throw freaking interceptions in a game. That's a game changer. If you have a quarterback that runs out there every week and never turns the ball over, that is a winning stat line all day long.
So Brock Purdy?
Yes. Brock Purdy is inarguable top 5 quarterback in the NFL right now.
Dak Prescott, top 5 quarterback. And you know
unarguable. Dak Prescott is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL right now.
Those are the 2 best guys in the NFL right now for quarterbacks.
You can argue the Cowboys quarterback is better. Who's been putting up more points all year? How about that? Who's been putting up points all year? Who has the better wide receiver core? Who has the better running back core? I'd argue that all day. Christian McCaffrey is the best running back in the league right now.
I'll take Debo and Brandon Ayuk over CeeDee Lamb and
Michael Gallup
and
Brandon Cooks. But to be honest, Brandon Cooks and Juwan Johnson are the same age probably.
You can say the thing is what's wrong with Purdy? He's proven it.
It's Purdy. People don't like Purdy because he's Mr. Irrelevant and he's watching national news.
I guarantee he's going to say system quarterback.
San Francisco is an injury-prone team. Show me their most recent injury.
And Dak is an injury-prone quarterback. And
Tony Pollard's an injury-prone running back.
When's the last time Dallas made it out of the first round?
These are avoidance of the actual team themselves, right? Because when you're looking at the two best defensive ends in the league on one team, I mean, I'm not going to tell you it's in Kansas City. I'm going to tell you that right now. Chris Jones is great up the middle.
They're not keeping Chris Jones next year either.
You're gonna struggle. You're weak at corners. You're giving up points left and right now. Like you're struggling to hold teams under 20 again.
The last time the Cowboys won a divisional game or divisional playoff game was 1995. I was 1. They've won multiple wild card games, but cannot win a divisional game. So
Chiefs have a top 5. They have a top 5 defense against the score.
Not in the league.
Keep that in mind. Because the Chiefs are not top 5.
The Chiefs are ranked 6th, technically. The Jets are above them.
Believe it or not, the Panthers are above them.
The Panthers are above them, yeah. The Dallas Cowboys are above them. The Baltimore Ravens are above them. And the Cleveland Browns are above them.
So right here, you're going to tell me that the Chiefs are the best team out of this entire group.
Neither have the Browns. Good God, you're just going to come up with excuses, man.
Here, you just said injury prone is a problem, right? Injury prone's a problem. And then you just said the Chiefs haven't been healthy. But yet you said the Chiefs are the best team in the NFL. You just walked yourself in a circle. And I'm not here to argue about Kansas City.
Like I said, I respect Andy Reid. I respect Patrick Mahomes. But you have to come to realization.
And me and you have said Andy Reid is a top 2, maybe best coach in the league, right? Like
he could surpass. He could surpass Bill, right?
Yeah, we don't disagree with this. And Patrick Mahomes, by the way he's handling this situation, the way he's handling this team, I don't think he's a top 5 quarterback right now.
He's not MVP. He's not top 5.
He's not even in the MVP conversation.
I'll take Dak and Brock Purdy both over him just because of what they're doing on the field. That's what MVP is. You take both those guys off those teams, and you can include Mahomes. I get it, but
I like how you said facts, by the way, and we're giving you all facts when Kansas City's not a top 5 defense.
He's a Chiefs fanboy.
Well, I'm just giving him facts.
I know.
Now, what he's saying is points per game, and points per game is great.
Top 5. Show me where he's top 5 on the list, please.
Crack kills.
Because if he's
you should probably get off it, bro.
Because if he's top 5, then Josh Allen is top 5 because their stats are very similar.
That was good. Crack kills. You should probably stay away from it, man. I agree with you. It's great to have one of the best tight ends in the NFL. I mean, you guys have the best tight end in the NFL right now.
Outside of that, what do you have in offense? You got Pacheco. You don't have any wide receivers.
Pacheco, I think, is a great piece.
But like I said,
underutilized.
What did I say when they lost Bieniemy? I said they are losing 3 games and Washington will gain 3 games.
Well, and it's funny because the question was Bieniemy the offense or was it Mahomes?
Bieniemy.
As of right now, when you see what Sam Howell is doing, it is Bieniemy is the offense. It is not Patrick Mahomes. And if you cannot understand that, you're not looking at those two teams. You can also have that conversation about Tyreek Hill, right? But Tyreek Hill was not on Kansas City last year. And Patrick Mahomes still did, 5,200 yards and broke a record in 17 games?
Yeah.
Where's that at this year? Because it's not Bieniemy. Where's Bieniemy?
Oh, he's on the Commanders in Washington.
Hey, we could talk about that all day. But guess what? He only changed one receiver last year. And that's Juju
Smith-Schuster, yes.
And he got Rashee Rice. So we could talk about that all day. Kadarius Toney was on that team midseason. Kadarius Toney's trash. Sky Moore was on that team all year. Sky Moore has still not shown up. Who's the other 2 I'm missing?
Justin Ross.
Marquez Valdes-Scantling was on that team all year last year. I don't care what you say. Patrick Mahomes is incapable of getting accurate passes to these guys. They're struggling, and the wide receivers are mid. Justin Ross, come back. You'll be better. Justin Watson has been a better wide receiver than Justin Ross has all year. And he's had a better connection with Patrick Mahomes. So if I were the Kansas City Chiefs OC, I'd be getting Justin Watson more plays to get him open on that team.
Wrong. How is he wrong?
What am I wrong about? Who has more touchdowns? Who has more yards per reception?
This is great.
What am I wrong
wish we
about?
had more of this every show. This makes me
I
happy.
mean, I love it. I love if someone could get in the chat. I just want to know what I'm wrong about. I'll take the loss where the loss is due. What am I wrong about? All right, Justin Ross. Justin Ross, 6 targets all year, 3 receptions.
Watson won't.
Justin Watson. Oh my God! He has like more than double targets in every game, it feels like.
My brain hurts. Oh, God.
Ross started the beginning of the year, bro.
And Justin Watson came in late.
No, he started the beginning of the year. Both of them.
My bad. I thought he missed 2 games in the beginning of the year.
Justin Ross started. Look, Justin Ross, snap percentage, week 1, 9. Week 2, 13. Week 3, 38. Week 4, 6.
Ross
Week 5,
has
9.
played.
Week 14, 6. Week 7, 25. He's played all year except for week 8. He's out. That's it. He got injured. I agree with that. I like Justin Ross. You're going to have someone here, by the way, love Justin Ross coming out of college. Loved him. Loved him coming out of college.
Right there.
I'm a huge fan of Justin Ross. But don't sit there and tell me that Justin Ross has been better or will be better than Justin Watson.
See, now you're changing your thing. Oh, he's a rookie. Oh, he's that. You can't do that. You're walking around in circles. You're making excuses.
You know who has rookie and young wide receivers? The Browns. They're all playing better. They're playing with a 4-3 quarterback.
Joe Flacco was raking leaves 2 weeks ago.
Justin Herbert's throwing more accuracy to Quentin Johnston, who we had as like the 10th receiver coming out of this draft. Like, don't give me that about your wide receiver core. If you're going to have 10 wide receivers on the roster, maybe you should trim that fat.
Yes, that is what rookie means. He is a first-year player. Good job. I'm happy you understand that, Hefe.
Bro, I don't disagree with you there. I still think that the Ravens are the best team in the NFL around right now. When you look at quarterback play, when you look at the ability to run the ball with that offensive line, when you look at the defense is number 2 in the NFL, almost in every stat. Me of all people, right? Defending the freaking Ravens.
I know.
Me of all people defending the Ravens. It's disgusting.
I can't even do it. It hurts.
I know. It hurts.
It hurts.
But this is how you know I'm unbiased in this situation, because they are easily the best team in the NFL, and they won in overtime against a Rams team that finally showed up. That's a team that never gives up all 4 quarters.
All right.
Kansas City gave up with 2 minutes left in the game.
Yeah. All right. So off that, let's talk about this week's game. Chargers, Raiders.
All right. Rams won the Super Bowl, man.
Don't even start with him. He's just...
Rams won the Super Bowl.
He's been nonsense. He's like a politician. That's okay.
I mean, I'm okay with the conversation.
I hate arguing with people that constantly come up with excuses.
But here's the thing: you can't sit there and say experience,
and then say, "Oh,"
and then
he's a
say
rookie.
Rams, LOL. That's the entire team that won the Super Bowl outside of Mike Williams.
You're not wrong.
Like, well, not Mike Williams.
Kyron
Puka
Williams.
Nakua.
Oh yeah, Kyron
Puka
Williams.
Nakua. Who actually was the running back that year?
It was Gurley, wasn't it? Yeah.
Was it Gurley? Was he still in the league at that time?
Yeah.
He might have been Gurley.
That was his last year.
I think it was his last year.
No, it was second to last.
I have no idea what my opinion is. I have said nothing that's opinion here outside of who I like. When you look at record and you look at defense and you look at offense statistics, the Ravens and the 49ers are the best teams in the NFL. It's your opinion that the Chiefs are better than them both.
Also,
Mine is statistical fact.
drop your Venmo or Cash App, because that $2,000 is going to come in nice for vacation when your Chiefs don't make it to the Super Bowl.
Hey, but I love it. I love the conversation. I'll have arguments all day about football. That's what we're here for. Okay, so getting into Thursday night's game is what you want to talk about, and I appreciate that. You get me back on track. You have the Chargers going into Las Vegas playing the Raiders. What are we seeing here with these two young quarterbacks?
Obviously, you have some major injuries on both sides of the ball. Josh Jacobs most likely is going to be out. He missed practice today. I'm guessing he's going to obviously be out if he's missed practice 2 days in a row. Other side of the ball, you have Keenan Allen missed practice and is not playing. They just said he is not going to be playing tomorrow, and Justin Herbert is done for the year. Easton Stick is your main quarterback, and Quentin Johnston is your starting number 1 wide receiver. So
yeah, now I get why you said Quentin Johnston. Oh my, I didn't even think about that. Oh my God. So yeah, Quentin Johnston as a one. Is it Reynolds?
No, you always forget. Josh Palmer.
Palmer. Is Palmer back?
No, he's still on IR. No, actually,
No, he came back last week.
He should be back, yes. He
So
should be
Palmer's
back
the
this
number
week.
2. Well, actually, I think Palmer would be the 1.
Yeah, he should be the one. You have Gerald Everett, and you have...
Gerald Everett, I think, is he still dealing with injury?
Who's your other... Gerald Everett and...
Is it Parham?
Yeah, Donald Parham.
Gerald
Parham.
Everett looks like he's healthy. Not seen any recent news.
What did
Hip
he do last
doesn't
week?
have an injury designation for Thursday's game.
I know Quentin Johnson led the team last week in yards. Obviously, a lot of that came off. I believe he had a 1 reception for 52 or 57 yards.
Sorry.
The Ravens have the second best defense in the league right now. What are you talking about? Oh my God.
Sorry. So it's hard to chat while I'm having a conversation. Having 2 conversations now. Gerald Everett cleared for Thursday Night Football. So Gerald Everett is active. I agree with you that this is rookie quarterback, right? This is your conversation. Well, not rookie. New quarterback. This is your conversation. Tight end heavy, right?
Yeah.
Tight end heavy. Austin Eckler, start him.
You have to.
Start Austin Eckler.
Also, the Ravens are giving up the least amount of points in the league at 16.8. So your quote, sir, is wrong.
What'd you say?
They're giving up the least amount of points in the league, 16.8.
Yeah,
The
but
Ravens.
he's saying, according to the Super Bowl, was it like 2017, 2011?
Give me a second.
I think it was
Hold on,
20. I
I'll
think it
pull
was
up.
2012.
All right, so
I think it was
16.8.
2012.
Hold on. Let me see.
Actually, what was the Super Bowl year? Just type Ravens Super Bowl year. I think it was 2012. Because I have the stats right here. I'm horrible with years.
2013.
So 2012. Okay. Ravens defense points per game. Did they not track? Oh wait, I need a bigger page.
So defense in 2012, right?
Oh my God, they were giving up 22 points per game in 2012.
Again, I say, sir, you're wrong.
They were also giving up 428.2 yards per game.
And they're giving up now.
I did not call the Ravens frauds. Who called the Ravens
284.
frauds? I said they
What?
would lose in the playoffs.
We didn't call them frauds.
I said they'd lose in the playoffs.
We said Miami are frauds.
Yeah, you might want to go back and look at that. You're taking my words out of context, and you're
So,
actually taking your words for...
Hefe, this is no
for
offense
fact.
towards you, but I hate people that try to create conversation and spew bullshit, and that's what you're doing.
No, it's not.
You
No,
need
it's
to-
not.
You just need
No,
to
it's
come up
not.
with facts.
No, well, so here's the thing. I think what he's doing, he's arguing from the hip.
And that's
And that's
fine.
okay. That's completely
That's
okay.
fine, but it's just, I hate that he's sitting there and he's trying
He
to
said, get my 2,000 ready.
drop
No.
that Cash App or Venmo, baby, right in the comments.
I think he's firing from the hip. I agree with you that Ravens defense was phenomenal the year they won the Super Bowl. But the problem is they would have never won that Super Bowl had the lights not gone out.
You're not wrong. No, exactly. That light changed. I still think that.
Conspiracy.
Exactly.
All right. But so Gerald Everett, Donald Parham, I like both these guys. I like Austin Eckler in this game. I don't know if I could start a running back from the Raiders because I don't have any confidence in who's going to be the better back, right?
So-
I don't know if it's going to be Amir or if it's going to be Zamir.
So
I don't know.
Zamir will be the starter if Jacobs is out, and I do believe Jacobs is out. Quarterback side, they have Antonio Pierce has not committed to a starting quarterback this week. They do not know if it's going to be Aiden O'Connell, or Jimmy G, or Brian Hoyer.
No, that's not what he said.
Oh, no, he said he doesn't
He
know
said
if-
Aiden
yeah,
O'Connell's
yeah.
starting, but if Aiden O'Connell's out, he doesn't have a designated backup if it's going to be Brian Hoyer or Jimmy Garoppolo.
It'll be Jimmy.
That's what he said.
It'll be Jimmy. You're correct. That's my bad. You're on.
I think it's going to be whoever's going to save his fucking job.
Blame it on the lights. It's all a conspiracy. The whole NFL is a conspiracy.
I truly believe it's whoever's going to save his job, to be honest with you. So if nobody's going to save his job, I think he's in trouble. To be completely honest.
Well, like I said, last week.
Yeah, Austin Eckler, I think, is a have to start. I mean, if you're looking at offensive weapons, it's Austin Eckler this week. And I know he hasn't been the greatest recently, but I think when you're looking at the way they're going to set up this offense, he's checked down all day.
Yeah, and he's saying Austin Eckler's done.
He said check.
Is done. Meaning, I think he doesn't like Austin Eckler. Like
No, I think that's a check mark. I think you're just so combative right now.
I'm
with
not
him.
combative.
I think you're just so combative.
I'm
I
not
think
combative.
he's agreeing. Well, hey, Hefe, are you agreeing with me that you should play Austin Eckler this week, or are you disagreeing? I don't know what done means. You mean he's done? He's actually like the worst running back in the NFL done? Oh, you're not agreeing with me. Okay, so you're just being combative. Okay, good to know. Good to know.
You.
That's good to know. Hey,
No.
you know why I play fantasy? Because there are people that show up week in and week out, and there are people that show up once every now and then. Hey, go ahead. Don't play Austin Eckler. That's fine. Did you play Drake London last week?
I did.
Did you really?
I did.
You son of a... You actually listen. You know, if I actually watch the show after I say things, I'd be phenomenal. I benched Drake London.
Guys in my leagues pick up people I say to start.
I benched Drake London last week because I had like 5 other receivers. And Drake was on my bench with like 27 points. I was so mad. I need to start listening to myself.
So, what points do you think Drake London or Austin Eckler scores? I think he scores about 18.
I think 15 to 18. I think somewhere in that range. I don't know if the touchdown's there. That's the problem.
Yeah,
but I think if you're playing in a full
catches and yards.
I think if you're playing in a full PPR league, he has 8 to 10 receptions.
Yeah. So, who are you taking? Chargers or Raiders?
Do I have to pick trash up?
I mean, you don't have to watch it, but you definitely have to pick. We got to keep track.
I'm going to say the Chargers are done for this year.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just
going to take the Raiders.
Okay,
yeah.
So we're both taking the Raiders. What's your score?
Can it be as bad as the Minnesota game?
I mean, if you want to do like 3-2, I might do 3-2. Field goal versus safety. You never know.
There's no safety in this game. I'm going to say 5 turnovers in this game. And I'm going to say the Raiders win 21-10.
Okay. I'm saying the Raiders. I am also...
No, the Raiders... Oh, you saying they scored 3 points this week? They scored 0 last week. So it's possible.
No, the Raiders scored no points.
I said they scored 0 last week. Yeah.
So
Minnesota scored 3 last week, and they won that game.
I'm going to say 13-10. Raiders.
That's fine. He just see, so you got to check your stats. No, I'm messing with you, bro. I'm messing with you.
So,
yeah, it was 3-0. Minnesota won that game, which was disgusting.
Outside of quarterback,
Josh Dobbs still has a starting job though.
Who is your player of the week or player of the game?
They're not starting Josh Dobbs this week.
No, Nick
they're
Mullins is starting.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. They are. Same score as last week.
Could you imagine,
dude? If the Chargers beat Minnesota, oh my god. Dude, they might actually go down as the least points scored in the NFL behind the Patriots this year, who, by the way, like scored like 10 points a game. And then the Jets are the Jets actually, I think, tripled their score all season last week. It's kind of crazy. I'm vibrating over here. Yeah, it's going to be a tough game to watch.
So who's your player of the game?
Player of the game?
Offense or defense? Outside of quarterback, obviously.
It's got to be Devontae Adams.
I'm saying Eckler.
It's got to be Devontae Adams.
I think Eckler has a big game.
I think Devontae Adams is a stardom because you're still throwing Aiden O'Connell. He's still getting more experience with these guys. Jacoby Myers a good slot. They still have 2 rookie wide receivers that could pop off. I don't think it's going to happen. And then I would like to see Michael Mayer just
be involved more. Yeah,
be involved more in this offense.
Majority of the year, and they just haven't done anything. OCA is sitting.
I don't know.
Oh, O'Connell? No, O'Connell's playing.
It's Aiden O'Connell. Oh, okay. No. Aiden O'Connell is starting. If you actually read the tweet correctly, Aiden O'Connell is starting. They don't know who the backup's going to be. Now, unless there's injury that I didn't see.
Hold on, let me double check.
But I could be wrong, but I don't think there's any injury on Aiden O'Connell right now.
Let me bring up my trusty sleeper app.
Apparently, I don't know how to spell his name either. No, I don't know how to spell his name. Which makes no sense because I know I did all these graphics.
Aiden O'Connell is projected 10.53 points. He is projected to start.
Oh, that's why I was under wide receiver.
No, yeah, I said the same thing. He corrected me. I read the tweet like how you read it, that they were going to go to Jimmy G or to Brian Hoyer. So, yeah, I read it the same way you did.
Yeah, no, if you read the tweet, it actually says what you guys are saying,
Yeah,
but then underneath it says Aiden O'Connell is starting.
Yeah.
So it's based on injury or if Aiden O'Connell goes out. You have to see what your rookie is if you're out of the season. And Jimmy Garoppolo was playing worse than Aiden O'Connell is currently. So to be honest, if I'm the coach, I go and start Brian Hoyer after O'Connell goes down to see if I made the wrong decision all year to who I was going to start. Because I would argue Brian Hoyer has statistically probably been better than both these quarterbacks this year.
Yeah, Jimmy G.
It's bad.
It's bad. That was a bad contract. They should have never.
Oh, is that supposed to be a donut? I just got it.
Yeah.
After the donut, I just got it. I couldn't tell that was a donut.
Our screen's so far away.
Yeah. My 55-inch TV isn't big enough.
I wear glasses, okay? That should just tell you something. All right, so do you have any takeaways today?
I love that Wheels is trying to run the show. I just appreciate it.
You're getting off track. I'm trying to keep us on track.
You know what? You know why I'm getting off track? Because I enjoy having a conversation with somebody in chat.
I love it. It was great.
Hefe, if you could come back more often, we're changing our show dates. It's going to be Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturday, Sunday. We're doing 4 shows. Friday's more of a casual Friday. I would agree with it. Might be a tie 0-0 all the way through. 0-0.
If it's a tie 0-0, Hefe, oh God.
0-0 all the way through. And both coaches are going to get fired.
Wait, we're doing a Saturday show too?
We have Saturday games.
We could just cover them Friday.
We could. I'll just wake up Saturday. Bro, I'm here. I'm off Saturday morning.
Saturday's the one morning I get to sleep in.
No, the fuck you don't. No, you do not.
I'm not getting paid for this.
Yeah, that's the point. That's the point.
Hefe, pay me.
Plus,
pay
we have
me,
to start
Hefe.
getting into college, so we need to do more shows.
We need more people here.
We
Hefe,
also
do you live in Ohio?
No, I haven't. Stay there. Because we don't need a transaction of $2,000 going across my house. Last thing I need is the IRS showing up. Yeah. 2,000?
Got the cash app and Venmo, baby.
But yeah, no, we're just doing a bunch more shows, so we're gonna have more fun with it. College is gonna be the shit. Oh, I wanted to bring this up in the news today. Florida State is suing the competition committee for college for not putting them into the playoffs.
The playoff.
So this is going to be a funny
committee.
thing to watch.
Mizzou. Oh.
It's going to.
He's in Missouri.
Oh. Is that Kansas City? Where is it? Kansas City yet?
Kansas City, Missouri? No,
Is
it's
it?
in Missouri. Yeah, that's what Mizzou stands for. Kansas City, Kansas. You dumb. Sorry,
No,
he's not a geography major.
Mizzou OU? Dude, I don't.
Are we playing? No, we're not playing Missouri in the playoffs. Oh, no. Yeah, we are. We're playing It's OSU, not OU.
Oh, yeah, that's Oregon. OU is Oregon, bro.
Or Oklahoma.
Or Oklahoma. You're right. It's not Oregon. You would say Oregon. Touche. I'm not really good with the whole
abbreviation.
No,
we're playing
nickname.
Missouri. Yeah, you're probably going to beat us because all of our starters are essentially sitting for the draft.
Marvin Harrison sitting?
I believe so.
Marvin Harris should sit till next year if he's going to play.
Marvin Harrison needs to come out with, hey, I'm coming back, or hey, I'm not, because I have some bets I need to make for the draft, and it's making it really rough not to be able to make them right now.
Oh, my God. I didn't even think about that. The over-unders on where players are going.
These
I didn't
wide
think about
receivers.
That. Yeah. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it's just, I'm waiting. I'm like, come on, dude, just declare.
But the reason... Never gonna happen.
I would shoot myself.
Never gonna happen.
I would shoot myself in the foot live.
Harrison will never go to KC because you will never be in the top 2 picks. And there's no way that Andy Reid is okay with trading future picks to get one guy. No way. Never gonna happen. I love you. I love it though because you're starting to sound like a Browns fan. It's kind of getting funny.
Well, if we do this, and this, we could get him.
Yeah, like it's starting to sound like a Browns fan. You will be grabbing a wide receiver. I agree. I don't disagree with that.
I think
there's a lot of good wide receivers out there.
Yeah, kid out of LSU. I think he's the second one taken off the board.
Hey, there's a kid named McConkey.
Who's the kid out of Oregon?
I was naming the white kid out of Georgia. You know me. I like white right receivers.
I think I can't remember the kid that's coming out of Oregon. I think that's who.
You're not grabbing. If you lose Chris Jones, there's no way you're grabbing a wide receiver first round. No way. Just letting you know that. It'll be fun to get into because we do a whole spiel, man. You should see our draft board. It's I don't know if you came when we were doing our draft this year, but it was a blast. It was a blast doing our draft.
We hit a lot.
And like we hit on a lot of players. A lot of players.
Troy Franklin. I think he's like the 8th wide receiver, maybe. That's a stretch.
Well, I haven't looked at a whole bunch of film this year yet. So
I've watched a lot of games.
So did I, but I couldn't like zone in on any one guy. But hey, come back. Watch us on Friday afternoon. We're going to be doing a Friday afternoon show around 8:30ish. I got to go see Christmas lights with my daughter first, and then I will be in the show. And it's going to be kind of, hey, this is where you bring up the shooting the shit stuff, because we are going to just get into off-the-wall topics about the NFL, and then we might get into those Saturday games. I prefer to do Saturday games Saturday morning so we don't get a headache and just have a good, shit show Friday.
That's fine. Well, it won't be long then.
And then let me know if you want to call it Fuck It Friday or Fug It Friday.
Fudge It Friday.
Fudge It Friday or Shit Show Friday. Probably going to be more of a shit show than a fucking, but...
Yeah, come back Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard.
Fudge It Friday. Yeah, I will see you guys at 8 p.m.
We also have a Facebook page at the Deep Threats Podcast. Go and follow.
Please.
Later.
And you'll also see our sleeper picks there this week, so because I have a lot more sleepers, and we'll talk more about them on Friday. Peace out, brother. Thanks, F.A.